Dateline NBC right here. But tomorrow marks 92 years since the end of Prohibition in the United States, and only on WLWT tonight, the untold story of Cincinnati's most notorious bootlegger.
Here he is. George Remus controlled a third of illicit liquor sales during Prohibition. His operation was once bigger than Al Capone's, yet most have never even heard of him. Our WLWT News 5's Lindsay Stone shares the forgotten piece of Cincinnati history.
It's a story of love, greed, and murder. This very gazebo, the center of a twisted tale that put Cincinnati in the spotlight during Prohibition. It's also a tale of the gangster who got away with it all. Well, kinda.
George Remus was not a good man.
Kind of a almost Robin Hood notion.
They were living the life. Eventually, though, something happened.
Just a massive national sensation.
Prohibition was a time in American history when the sale and consumption of alcohol was banned. The only exception was medicinal alcohol. That's where George Remus saw his golden ticket.
Remus was perfectly positioned to exploit this because he was a pharmacist who became a lawyer.
By 1920, Remus had arrived in Cincinnati, determined to build an empire of liquor, lies, and lawlessness.
It was called the Circle, and he would actually have some of his thugs go and actually rob his trucking company.
Whiskey flowing like water.
This was a well-oiled machine.
And money like fire.
He became one of the richest men in Cincinnati in the 1920s.
And in the country, from his West Price Hill mansion, complete with an indoor swimming pool and glittering parties, Remus lived like a king. But behind the champagne and jazz,
the feds caught up with him. George eventually did have to go to prison.
Before his sentence, Remus made one critical mistake. He signed everything over to his wife, Imogene. That's when federal agent Franklin Dodge entered the picture, and betrayal took center stage.
He seduced her, swept her off her feet, and they then went to work.
One by one, Imogene sold off his distilleries and pharmacies. When Remus finally walked free, his empire was gone.
He walked into his mansion. It was completely empty except for a cot and a pair of shoes that didn't fit him.
Imogene filed for divorce. Remus begged for her back, but what came next would shock the nation.
They both jump into a taxi cab and speed off towards Eden Park.
As the cars twisted through the park's winding roads, Remus made his move, cutting her off at the gazebo.
Pulls her close and shoots her right in the chest. Right there in Eden Park, right in the middle of rush hour traffic.
Remus turned himself in. His divorce, now a murder trial.
Remus wasn't on trial, Prohibition was.
The courtroom became a circus. Remus defended himself, facing off against Charles Phelps Taft II, son of a U.S. president.
You've got a celebrity prosecutor in the context of a national debate about a policy that was become extremely unpopular and controversial.
Remus claimed temporary insanity, a gamble few dared to try, but against all odds, it worked.
And they give him like 3 months in a mental hospital, and then he gets released.
Rumor has it Al Capone warned him to stay quiet or else. He obeyed. Remus lived out his days in Newport, the once king of the bootleggers, a legend trapped between genius and madness.
Cases like the Remus case are exceptional, they are not standard. But he was an exceptional guy.
George Remus blurred the lines between law, crime, and bourbon. To some, a ruthless killer who played the system. To others, a mastermind who outsmarted it. So was he a villain or a visionary? That's for you to decide. Lindsay Stone, WLWT News 5.
Maybe both. But, you know, it just, when I'm watching that, I think, wow, how things have changed. I mean, that would make national news. We'd be covering it every night. But because it was back then when there wasn't social media and 24-hour news and all of that, you know, you didn't even know of this guy.